So that's us live, I think, John,
Lovely.
on YouTube.
How are we?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm better than I was last week.
Yeah.
It was like a crazy one. Crazy one last week. Tight deadlines to meet and doing too much. I was knackering.
I've not had anything to do, mate. It's rubbish. Although apparently I'll be off furlough by next week. So that's something.
Hold on a sec. All I'm getting is feedback.
Right. Have you got the stream open as well?
Yeah, things aren't going right here, John.
Technology, mate. Who'd have it?
Aye. Sorry about this if anybody's watching. There are a few technical difficulties.
I'll just sit here and get drunk, mate. Wait for you.
I'm on Ghost Ship low alcohol beer
All right.
at the moment. Yeah, this is the best low alcohol one I've tried actually.
Really?
It's
Like
dead good.
what when you say low alcohol, like
It's, I mean 0.5.
all right.
Not
What's
like
the
3.
what's the point?
4. Yeah, I'm in. I'm not getting loads of different voices coming back. I thought the voices were in my head there for a while. I was like, this is going mad. I went mad ages ago. I'm used to them by now, but you know, that's us in. So
Good.
we've got 4 people watching as well. How are we all doing?
I'm pretty sensational.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, as I said, off furlough next week,
Furlough.
hopefully. Some customers have come back saying that they are ready to go now, so
Oh, that's good.
just need to wait and see.
So what have you been doing to keep yourself occupied while you've been furloughed?
Do you know what? I've not like I kind of had this this idea that I would like catch up on learning new stuff and spend my time productively, but really I've just been getting drunk and playing guitar.
At least you do something productive. Guitar's productive.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is it one of the things I used to find that with gaming when I used to game? I was like, I always felt I could game a lot easier if I had a few beers while I gamed.
Well, whenever I play, I always tell people the more they drink, the better I sound. In fact, you said you were going to join my live gig the other night. Did you join?
I didn't know. No, I was asleep on the couch.
Right, okay.
I got your text 2 hours later. I just passed out on the couch. I said it's been a mental week. Just coming up to the end of the month, I think everybody was wanting their work completed before the end of the month because I don't know. And there was a deadline that got brought forward, and then they had three nights I was doing. On the Monday, I was doing my first night class for the Virtual Power Group.
Oh yeah, I was on it.
For having me. Yes, you were. Yeah, you were.
It was very good.
Oh, thanks. It was good. There's a lot more work involved than I thought. I've still not finished putting the course material together for it. But it was a good experience and doing another one of them next week. But I had Monday and ended the session on Tuesday, and then I had a meeting on Wednesday and then another thing on Thursday night. And so
that's right. Yeah, you said.
I was like, and I only work Monday to Thursday as well. So it's 9-hour days plus an hour in the evening. It was just it's too much. I feel myself burning out. But nice to be relaxing week this week.
That's good.
Aye. We'll do hopefully some work for one of my pals, Steve, helping out.
All right, aye, that's right. That's the Thursday.
Thursday, aye. So helping out a wee company, do a favour for a pal over in Melbourne, I think he is.
Well, like I said, I'm quite happy to help, and got nothing better to do. And I mean, I don't imagine, I don't know, but I don't imagine my company will be angry at me for trying to help people out on the other side of the world.
It's your spare time. It's not as if we're taking any money for it.
Yeah.
And do a good deed, you get them back to you. Hopefully. So what I've been doing, so other than the crazy busy week, I've been messing about with. I looked at Nick Dolman did a really good article. I think I sent you a screenshot because I was delighted when I got to work. He'd done a really good article on ALM and automatic release pipelines.
Yeah.
And Azure DevOps. So I've been putting that together. I used one of his articles previously. That was with PowerShell scripts, and he's using the Power Apps Builder tools for this one. So I've been putting that together, and it helped me out big time last week for the training, because I had to export a solution and import it into 49 different environments. To do that manually, it would have been an absolute nightmare. It would have taken me ages and just repetitiveness. So it was like export it once, I started running it at 1 a.m. and went to bed, and then I looked at the job time, and it was 32 minutes to completely
it's amazing,
push it out to 50. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And it's not even taking your resources on your machine up. It's just in the cloud, so it just does it, and it's free.
Amazing. What do you mean? What do you mean free? How, like?
Azure DevOps, so it's free for under 5 users.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's under 5 users is free. There's certain limitations,
right.
But I mean, I'm just using it now for my own personal projects, just to try to do things properly.
No, that's good.
Be a bit more controlled. Even if I figure if I put that in my personal work, and all the rest of it will just all follow suit, make it easier for the rest of it. But that's worth having a look at.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you seen it?
Else?
What else am I doing? I took some notes. First night class. I've got excited. I didn't when we spoke about doing this on Friday. I said I haven't got anything to show. I don't think. But I was working because I was setting up all these training environments, and it was an absolute ball ache because there's restrictions now. I used to just run some PowerShell scripts, and on a trial environment, and it would just create the environments for different users. Because I want every user to have a different environment, their own environment. But they've put some restriction on the space since the last time I did it. So you only get 1 gigabyte, so you can't create a production environment in a trial instance. You can only create a trial for yourself. And
because I was trying to do that today, in fact, like set up a new environment in my developer account, and when I try to create a new database, it says you need 1 gig of free space, and a developer account shows that you've got 0 gig or 0 space. But like, so you can fill up your one CDS database, but you can't add any more. Or,
no, I know. And like the only way to do it, you can create a trial, but you're only allowed 1 trial per person.
Aye.
So I thought, perfect, I'll just create a trial per person as an admin user. But then if you try and create the trial as an admin user, you have to create it as that user. You can't just create. Because I thought I've got 49 users, 49 licenses. I'll just create. Well, no, I've got 25 and 24. I'll just create all the trials from my admin account. It'll be a bit repetitive, but it's not the end of the world. But I couldn't. So to log in for each user, log in, change the password, create the CDS environment, and then log out again, and then do it again. And to do that again 49 times, and it was killing me.
And
it was late as well.
Can you speak to your man at Microsoft that extended your dev tenant or whatever you done, and see if there's anything they can do?
I reached out to a few different folk, and I didn't get much response. And I found all I did get back for the people that did were that that's the way you do it. And or there is another way, but you need to be a partner with a code.
Right. Okay.
And of course, I'm not doing it for any like partner or anything. I'm just doing it for myself and don't have a code. So I didn't qualify for the magic code because I think it lifts your database restriction. So you'd create production environments.
Right.
And so I only set people get that privilege. So that's what I've been working on. We could try to get a way around it. So I've done and that's I'm going to hope that this works. This is one of these ones where I'm going to try to show you tonight, but it might not work because I literally only did it at I only got it working at like
Right,
half past 1 this morning. I was up late last night, 1:30 this morning, just because I got sucked into I was sucked into the UI flows. That's what I got done.
All right, cool.
But so we'll have some fun with that later on. I'll have some fun if it doesn't work anyway. But that's the point in this. It's a bit of fun, and I'll just show you how far I got. And maybe somebody out there watching can help me.
Exactly.
But as I said, I had it working. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know what the license on that is either. Because I've just been doing them and it seems to be free. So that's on the trial. Just give me a second to pull up these in the chat. So what have you been doing yourself?
Not really. Like I put together a wee thing to show tonight. Just using Flow and SharePoint lists to generate or populate a Word template.
Cool.
And I think it's quite nice. Like, you know, if you've got an assess, and then also the way I'm going to trigger the flow, like we could obviously do it if you are on the create of the list item, you could trigger this flow, but I'm going to show you how to like just trigger a flow on a particular item.
Cool.
And like, you know, generate your Word document. And so it's kind of like the way I envisage it would be like an assessment type thing. So let's say you've got a Canvas app on the phone, people go out, do an assessment, then sends all the data back to a SharePoint list, and then if they need a document produced from that, then they can generate this Word document.
Wicked.
And it was quite nice. Cool.
Yeah, it'll work nicer than mine, because I think mine's a bit hacky. There's got to be a better way of doing it, but it just seems dead. Well, when I show you, it's dead hacky. But
right, cool.
It'll work. It'll save me some time next time until Microsoft change the sign-in procedure.
What I'll do is I'll show you. I'll just give you a quick look at the flow. Like it's nothing outrageous. I'll show you how you put the quick parts or the quick part, or I think they're called quick parts, into the template. So like the kind of placeholders. So you need to like activate the developer menu on the ribbon in Word, and then you can add these kind of placeholders, and then you can populate them with Flow. It's quite cool.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
But that's really the first time I've done anything apart from your night class last week. I didn't follow through like your tutorial. I just kind of watched what you were doing as opposed to doing it on the.
I know that's fair. I need to try and the documentation. I wanted really to have documentation to go with it, but it took so long to create. Like, you know, the screenshot here and put arrows in there, and I need to find a better way of doing that. I don't know if there's any software. There will be software out there, but it's whether it's. I know the best one's ClickLearn, I've heard, but it's dear. And for me, just messing about myself,
exactly,
it's not like £200 a month or something. Like, it's not even doable. Like even if it's £30 a month, I'd be like, well, it's for me. But
do you know, I was looking at Business Central prices, and like that's like for the essentials, it's like 50 odd quid a user a month.
Aye, it's dear.
It seems quite a lot, doesn't it?
Dynamics is similar as well. The first party apps are up there for 80 quid, 75, 80 quid.
I knew that like things like customer service, is that what you call it in Dynamics? I knew that was like 70 odd quid or something.
Aye. But then everyone you get after that's 40 quid.
Is it? Is that how it works?
You buy one, like that's not enterprise license. You buy one license, one full license, then you bolt on the other ones.
Right. Okay. It was genuinely just like, because I was setting up a Business Central like demo environment just to kind of play around and see what's there and see what you can do, like integrating with stuff in a model driven app or whatever, just to play around. And then I thought I would have a look at how much the licenses were, and seems a lot of dough.
It does a lot of stuff though. I mean, we obviously work with quite a bit. Not me personally, but the company does. And
like I mean, historically, like I was a nav consultant, And so I kind of understand why it would be expensive, but I don't know. I kind of felt like is that competitive? Is it like compared to other things on the market? I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know myself. So there was a lot of, I've watched some of there was a UG D365
right,
UG thing in London. A couple of I watched some of the videos of that this morning. That's some Business Central stuff on it as well. There was I watched that one, and I watched the Chris Huntingford one, the roadmap. That was interesting. Like the key takeaways from that were Power Automate and AI are going to be embedded into everything.
Yeah.
So just.
Well, we had that conversation. Was that last week? We had that conversation where I was saying like it kind of feels like Power Automate. Everything else is just like an interface to push it into Power Automate and then let that do whatever you want it to do, and then put that where it needs to be. And
and MBAS is starting Wednesday. It's quite good times actually, because a lot of sessions are in the evenings for us in the UK. So it'll be quite a good content there. I registered interest on a few of them. I'm trying for these events. I try and kind of guide myself down one route for them as opposed to different routes. So like Scottish Summit, I did all kind of soft skills and things like that. This one, I really want to kind of. It's been a while since I've looked at D365 for sales and sales insights. So I want to look at kind of going through doing the sales insights and the insights ones.
What is sales insight?
It's that kind of whole 360-degree view of your customer.
Right. Okay.
It's part of the. It's kind of part of the Dynamics suite. It's not called Dynamics 365. It's part of the Dynamics suite.
Because I think if they know introduce some insights. That's some insights thing for Canvas apps, to track usage and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's telemetry release that uses something in Azure, which will feed. You set it up. But I seen a demo getting set up on the last Power Apps community call, and you link it into kind of what's called in Azure, and you can gather loads of usage feedback and get some data and stuff out of it. Find out how they're getting used. So that's pretty cool.
See, that kind of thing is always useful. Like, you know, like if it records crashes and like crashing out, like what were you doing when it crashed out, or you know, I mean, whatever it gives you, I suppose, is going to be useful.
Absolutely. So yeah, so that'll be quite good. I got a wee gift from Microsoft today. I think I sent you.
Oh, you said that.
My Microsoft thing, and I got a little privacy plugin thing, which is good, and a Microsoft stress ball.
All right.
Which is actually started to come undone already. I've been squishing it that hard. I've just been like, try to get these UI flows to work. Like, come on.
Oh man,
you'll see me going like, just come on, work. We're recording the demo. So
man, Microsoft stress balls.
I know it's quite fitting. That's what I'm saying. The seams can burst already because I've just been like pumping it.
God damn it.
So, do you want to show me yours?
Go ahead, and I'll show you mine.
Share your screen.
Alrighty, here we go. So, like I said to you, well, I'll just share that. Yeah, there we go. So we'll have a wee look at the flow first. Is that all right? And I'll show you the list. So we've got a list here. Can you see this? Is that all right?
Yeah.
We've got a list here called company assessment. I've put in some companies. Some of these have been filled in. So these columns relate to fields in the actual template. So I'll give you a wee look at the template. In fact, I'm going to unshare my screen again and then just share the whole thing, if that's all right. Because I want to use Word. So yeah, this is the template. If we go here, open an app. So you can see here, this placeholder here for business goals, platform selection criteria, blah, blah, blah. And on our list, we've got the same thing. Oh, business goals, platform selection criteria, all that kind of thing. So you can just go into an item, add that information, and then it pops it into flow. So how will we look at the flow? So the trigger is for a selected item. So when you do it, when you're setting up your flow, you've got to do a flow that's instant, blank,
Right.
you know, that kind of, what's it called again? New
That's
flow,
one, yeah.
instant from blank.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not an automated one because there's not an actual trigger, like a person's got to trigger it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go into instant from blank, you can choose SharePoint. Ah, damn it. You can choose down here for a selected item.
Yeah.
And then I'll show you when we get into that, how you actually trigger it. So in here, we've got our, for a selected item, you've got to get the item. Like it doesn't, I think like that kind of annoys me sometimes with flow as well. Like there's always seems to be that extra step. Like you don't get enough, or it doesn't pass enough of the information there. You've got to do a get item to get everything.
Yeah, it's the same. I think I've come across that in CDS as well. You have to you just get the ID and a few other things, then you have to get it to get to the other attributes sometimes.
I mean, it's not a big deal, I suppose. You know, you just pass and you just put in the address, the list that you want to get the item from, and the ID from your for selected item. And then there's one thing I've got to say about this is the popular Microsoft Word template is a premium character. Yep. So there is some dosh to be paid for that.
Additional cost.
Yeah, but again,
where is the template stored?
So I store it in, it can be anywhere, but it's in, I've got this assessment files, and we've got it here. And so if we look at the flow, you just say, I want it in my Contoso drone landing site. It's in that document library, assessment files, and that's the name of the file. And then as soon as you pick your file, it brings up all these kind of placeholders that you've got in your file. So like this, I think it sends like a kind of a JSON package to Flow that says these are this is the dynamic kind of placeholders that are in this file, and then you just fill it with whatever you want. So I want to fill it with the items from my list. Then I've got to create a file. So I create it with the title that comes from the SharePoint list and assessment.docx, and the content is the output from this step. Does that make sense?
Aye.
So if we go to here, like we could go in and put some stuff in Guild, but I'll just, let me move that guy out of the way. I'll just do it. So business goals, main guitars, distribution for, sorry, this isn't drop downs, this is just stuff I've put in previously.
All right,
so
okay.
Yeah.
An autocomplete type thing.
Aye. Current system not fit for purpose. We'll just do the same stuff. But anyway, you save all that. And then you just highlight the one that you want to use. And because like you've associated this flow with this list, it just appears in your Power Automate bit. So like request sign off is just a generic one that happens for every list. Then you've got this generate document, which is the name of my flow. So because you, like I said, because you've associated that flow with this list, it just appears automatically. You don't need to do any other kind of wizardry. Click on generate document. You'll get this wee sidebar. Click on run flow, and boom, that's you. If we go to our assessment document library now, refresh that, you'll see there we've got our Martin assessment. And if we go to open it in the app. There you go. So you can see the
cool.
Martin, sell lots of guitars, best platform, blah, blah, blah. So what I was going to show as well was how to edit the template to add other things. So first thing you need to do is go to File and Options. And if you go to Customize Ribbon and go down here, you need to enable the developer ribbon item. And then if we go to developer up here, what we'll do is this part here, these controls. So we want, if we go down here, we want to insert, and for this connector, you can only use a plain text control. You can't use like a rich text control. And I think you can use a combo box and a drop down as well as a control, but you can't use any of the other ones for now. I imagine over time that will happen. But if we add in this plain text control, then we need to go to the properties and give it a name. Summary and summary. I think it uses a tag for the actual flow. So I always just put it in. And we'll put one in here for requirements and priorities. Damn it. Regs and and then if that will just be saving, I'll close that. And if we go back to our flow now.
So you've just saved that using kind of almost just using online, hasn't it? Just automatically saved.
So that was opened from that was opened from the SharePoint document library. So that gives you the kind of all the auto save
type thing.
Same kind of, it's all, well, SharePoint or OneDrive is effectively a SharePoint document library, so it gives you all of that kind of same functionality. But if I go into the flow and edit that, you'll see in a minute now. Yeah, you'll see I've got these two new items here.
Oh yeah.
So then if I just go to my
so it's quite good that it picks up straight away. You don't have to remove and re-add it.
Like I think you've got to go out and back in, but I can live with that. So I've added in my requirements and my summary now. Save that. And if we go back to, we'll go to Takamine. Great project. And lots of stuff, whatever. We can save that. And if we go back to here again, like I said, select that, go to Automate and generate document. Run the flow. We'll go here, refresh. We've got a Takamine one now. If we open that, I always open in the app. I don't. Maybe I'm old or something like that, but
I'm the same.
I always feel like
I'm the same.
So they can see IT assessment for Takamine. Got the same kind of things, and now we've got our summary and our requirements and priorities. Okay. So like I think that like I said, if you are using like a Canvas app and going out and like trying to record stuff, but in the end you need to produce some kind of document, then this is really useful. You know, it's just like I said, it's just a Word file. It's just a Word. Like I downloaded this template from templates.com or something like that. And you know what I mean? Like you can make it however complicated you want.
I've seen the developer bit. There's Word document template kind of things in delved into originally in Dynamics and now in CDS, but like, and use that XML mapping pane to pull the fields for CDS into it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen something like that before, but I've not seen that action. That's quality. That you've got an action there that you can just pick any word template, because it's kind of restricted to word templates stored in CDS, and they can be a wee bit fiddly.
See, I've never used them. I've never saw them. Maybe you could show me, Paddy.
I don't know. I think this probably looks like it's probably better. You know what I mean? I would probably.
Listen, I mean, like you can use this as well for an item in the CDS. You know, like it's all the same principle. It's just where I'm putting the data. Like
that's what I was thinking.
You know, you could have an entity in CDS that it triggers a flow when you get a new entry, and populates or generates a Word document based on that. It's all the same. It's all the same principle.
Right. The only problem with that is you'd need a proper Power Automate license as opposed to just the one you get free with CDS, because you're using the premium connector, isn't it?
That's you need a. So how does that make things?
I don't.
Hugely expensive.
I mean, I was no, it's not an extra £10 per user per month, but if you've got 200 users,
exactly,
then it could make things quite expensive. But that's one of the things I was saying to a client today.
But then is it not that you just need it for those users who need to do it?
Aye, that's what you do. I said the thing to a client the other day when I was trying to explain it, and they were asking about Power Automate licenses and how some of them are free and some of them are not, and I was saying it's the best way to think of it. The rule of thumb is it comes with the one that you get free with your Power Apps license. It's free to automate, but it's premium to integrate. That's my kind of rule of thumb. As soon as you're integrating with other stuff, then you need a license, or you should need a license.
And I guess that like I mean, if you're doing something, if you're automating something that usually takes somebody 10 hours a month, then $10 a month is nothing, then, is it? If it saves someone 10 hours a month.
I know you need to weigh up and see whether it's worthwhile. It's like one of the projects I recently working on, we're just doing the design for it, and it looks like we've found so many uses for the AI builder in it, and it'll probably save them an absolute. They'll use it loads, and they'll probably need bolt-ons for it, but it will save them a fortune, because they get these they're called timber advice notes. They go to this, people pick up bits of wood and take them to a timber merchant and sell it, and then they just get a scrap of paper that gets posted into the regional office, and somebody manually puts them all in. And I mean, if we can set up the because they're standard as well, they're standard bits of paper. So setting up like that form recognition, that text recognition to say, put that in and can create a record in CDS and bill it.
That's amazing.
That's going to. I mean, although again they'll need at least a couple of bolt-ons, so it'll be quite expensive. But the amount they're going to save, because it's all different regional offices as well, so they'll just send them in at different regional offices, and it's.
I mean, like if you've got someone whose job is to just enter all of that data, and then I'm not saying that means they don't have a job, but it means they can go and do something more useful, more productive.
Absolutely. Absolutely, saving them time. So I love all that stuff.
So yeah, are you happy with what I showed you?
Aye, that's brilliant. That's quality.
I think it's quite cool and quite.
I think I can see myself using that quite a bit.
Good.
No, they didn't look that action at all. I would normally, if I was doing it like an implementation, I would probably still call an action through CDS and use the template within CDS. But this way you showed me probably. I don't know if it's a lot cleaner. Maybe I'll try it out anyway. Definitely try it out.
Give it a go, mate. All right, I'll stop sharing and let you do what you want to do.
I'll show you my thing that hopefully will work. It's Right, so make sure I'm in the right environment. So I'm running it from, so I'll go through what my goal is first. So my goal is to create a user in Active Directory. So imagine I've got a course, and it could be any trigger, somebody submitting a form so that say that they're interested in the course. I'm going to use it in this example. I'll use it off a list of contact records. I'll manually trigger the flow on a contact record, and that contact record's held out with my trial environment. So I've got a separate, because remember it's a trial, so it's only a 30-day trial. I've got my trial set up with I'll show you my trial, my admin in it. So this is my trial, 30-day trial. Only environments that's got move your head are a couple of ones that I set up in this administrator. So administrator is my kind of main database for my administrator. If I try and set up, let's just go to the Power Platform. If I try and set up another environment for an attendee, production will say that what we said before, it'll just set them out of space. Sandbox will the same. If I do a trial, which I can have as many trials as I've got licenses, as I've got users, but I need to, I get this error where it says I've reached my limit on trials. And that's because me as a user's reached the limit.
Right,
But if I was that attendee 8 user, I can log in and create that trial environment. And then once that's created, it just behaves like all these other environments. It just appears in that list, and I can administer it. But for some reason, I just can't create it. And that's what's coming. I tried different PowerShell scripts and ways around it, and I couldn't find any way around it. And so I thought I'll have a way play. It's an excuse to play about with something, isn't it? It's like, it's probably not the right way of doing it. It's a wee bit hacky, but it's something that I need to solve, and I'll play about with this. I'll try and do a UI flow for it. The challenge with the UI, well, I'll try to do a flow for it first, and I'll show you what I was thinking of doing first. I'll do a flow for it. I'll run it off not my trial CDS, but my actual CDS. It's actually an extended trial, but I'll run it off a different CDS because that's where my database is. I'll run it on a contact. I'll create the user in AD in my trial AD. So it's again, we're going cross directories as well. Create a user, and that's easy enough, and I'll show you how I did that. And then I'll just create the database through Power Automate, because you can create databases through Power Automate as well, and create CDS environments through Power Automate. And then, but that it still throws up that error. There's no way of working around it. It just says, nah, you've still reached your limit. You need to do it as this user. So it didn't work. So I will show you. I'll skip it in this is my other environment, my real environment that's fully licensed, and also the other one's just a Power Apps license. Identity solutions, and configure training environments. So I've got these flows down here. I'll show you my first flow. So this is the on-demand one, and what it does.
See, that's another thing that's kind of alien to me, is the flows in solution, or you know what I mean? Because I only see flows in the kind of flow environment as opposed to the reference to.
They're just the same though. Once you click but they're just the exact same.
But it was just kind of when you were saying, "Oh, that's a flow," I was like, "But how can that be?"
Because it's purple. But that's the exact same as clicking there.
Aye,
it's the exact same. But I'll hold it down. But so when I say on demand, that's just the old workflow terminology. See, like you showed me earlier. Hold on, I think we've frozen. I think you've gone, John. Give you a while to come back. Okay, I don't know if it's me. So I'll just carry on, and I'll tell you anyway. Right, so I've got my on-demand flow, again, that's just workflow terminology, old CRM Dynamics workflow terminology. You back?
Sorry about that.
Sorry, glitch in the matrix.
All right.
Aye, so this is so you know you're saying you can associate a flow to a list and it'll run on that list and you can see it. This is sort of a similar thing. I had no idea you could set it to list in SharePoint, but must behave in the same way. So if I open that up, I'll show you what it is. The triggers when a record's selected, and that's what tells it that this is kind of an on-demand flow, and you run it from a record in CDS. And it's contact. This is actually the old connector, the old CDS connector, not the current environment connector, because this trigger isn't available in the new one yet. Hopefully they'll get them there. But so we're going to run off contacts, and the environment's default, so that's this environment. You can't choose anything else. On the contact record, it'll get a username, first name, last name, and then it'll go to, if you look at the connection here, I'm using my trial environment's AD connection.
Okay, yep.
Now create a user as enabled, populate that stuff from CDS, a few other things there as well. And what I also needed to do as well, I need to assign licenses to the user. So I need to assign all the licenses I need. At the moment, all I need is an Office and a Power Apps license. And to do that, I used Azure Groups. So if I open up Azure on my other environment, so this is where I'm going to create a user. I'm going to Active Directory. I don't know if this is new or not, this feature. I don't know how new it is, but it works really cool. It's new to me. So you've got a group here, which is Power Apps trainees, and you can assign licenses to that group. So Power Apps per user, Power Automate per user, and an Office E3 license. So any user I add to that group will automatically get assigned those licenses. So because we've got that step in Power Automate, add user to group, you just grab the group ID and the user ID, and that means it'll assign all the licenses to it. So you can see the benefit of that right away, because nothing fancy.
Absolutely,
it's just, but that could be like part of your onboarding process and setting people up. That'll save somebody typing that in and doing it all manually. So what I'll do, I'll run that. I'll run this bit first. I'll show you that working, and then I'll run a manual check to show you the creating the environment, and then I'll try and push the two of them together to show you it fully automating. So we're going to run 2 tests, but we'll break it down in stages. So for that one there, I'll go in. This is the Sales Hub app, but it could be any model-driven app, or anything else. But we'll go into contacts. I'm just going to create attendee. I'm just going to make him attendee 9. Actually, I think his surname's 9. That's all we need. So save him or her.
Exactly, Paddy. We are woke.
So yeah, so I've got a flow button at the top. I click that.
Yep. So, it says flow. Mine says automate. Automate.
We're behind with the times as CDS crowd, aren't we? So I'll run that V2 contact on demand. It runs my flow. This bit actually happens quite quick. So that's that. That goes off and does its thing. We'll go back, and there you go. That's succeeded. And we'll have a look at Azure AD. I've got a user. That's really got members. So there's my attendee 9 in my group.
Yep.
And if I go to let's just go to my Office 365 admin portal. Attendee 9. Well, he's not licensed yet, is he? Yeah, so that's the licenses came through. The bit that sometimes takes a bit of time is if I open up the Power Apps Admin Center. I'll go to, because once the license is associated, they should be created as a user record in CDS. So go to my administrator environment settings and I'll look at the list of users. Because he gets added as a user in all environments, even though he might not have permission to access all environments.
Right, okay.
But my administrator environment, you should see that name. And that's important because that's what will trigger the real flow. When I piece it all together, that's what will trigger that off. Oh, that must be running anyway. Sorry, my real flow. I must have forgot to deactivate my real flow. So this is, we're skipping ahead, but this is the automated flow that will create the environment, the UI flow. It'll reset his password. But see, so we've got a gateway between your machine. Let's let this run. But the fact that this is working is actually quite good. See, no hands. This is my UI flow. It just does all that nonsense that I'd had to do manually.
So what are you using to make that happen?
Flow. It's a UI flow.
Oh, UI flow.
That's what I was hoping to explain that to you before that run, because I thought I'd switched that off. And I was going to break it down, but at least we know it runs. See if I was at a presentation or a session at a conference or something, that would ruin everything. But anyway, pretend that didn't run. So what happens there is, I'll show you the UI flow. So it creates that user in CDS, and that's where that should have stopped. If I go back to my kind of admin environment, my other environment that's got all licensed up, and I'll have a look at another flow. I'll show you the admin tool that I was going to use first, actually. What I was going to do with this is, because it's worth just highlighting that these are available as well, because I'm setting up trial environments, which is a bit different. But see if you go just type admin here, you get loads of kind of tools in Power Apps Admin.
All right, okay.
There's a whole load of stuff there, a whole load of kind of Power Apps stuff that's really helpful. And this is really helpful. So you can create a CDS database, create an environment. All that's how I originally planned on doing it. Create the user and then just use one of them.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a production environment that I had fully licensed and it wasn't trial, then I could just use them just to create the 25 licenses, but I don't have 25 licenses. So I would use something there to do that. And that was my initial plan. But
I mean, you see all this kind of thing. Like I remember going to like SharePoint training event before, because I imagine like this is for your training type stuff, yeah.
Aye.
So like I remember going and the guy just handed out like 25 USB hard drives with like an environment on that we had to kind of hook up, and like with virtual hard drives and all that kind of stuff, and like you know, even the time that you would have had to spend to set all that up. Do you know what I mean?
Aye. I mean, there was PowerShell scripts that you could run to set them all up for you. Like I said, I've run them before and they're really helpful. I just went off and done it all, but I don't know PowerShell, and I couldn't find a way. And the change in the scripts that I managed to get hold of, the scripts that I managed to get hold of, didn't take that limit. That always failed on that limit.
Right. Okay.
And so I couldn't do it. I was at a sticking point, and I was just like, do you know what? I'm going to have to try something else. I can't be doing it manually. So just done it. Just started playing about with this. And I mean, it did take me a while to get it. Probably a good couple of 6 hours or something, but it's actually not that. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a hell of a lot different for deving something. And it'd probably take me a lot longer to do it in PowerShell. I'm just going to just double check where that flow's running, because I think it's actually running in a different environment that I've plugged it into.
There's your friend Claire commenting. I don't know what it was in reference to.
Claire's on. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Claire.
So hold on, that's running in a different environment. This is the problem with moving flows between different trials environments. I've got it activated somewhere. I don't know where the fuck it is.
This is turning into just a day in the life of Paddy, isn't it?
This is exactly a day in the life of Paddy. This is why I like that. This is why we're doing these sessions, John, because you can try this stuff out. See, if you look, I'm just going to pull over another environment. I think that is the culprit there. I've got all these. I know they're all off as well. I don't know where it is. Anyway, I'll show you. I'll show you my flow. Show you my flow.
This is where all the clients' hard-earned money goes.
I'm not even drinking one. I'm not even drinking. I'm on the alcohol-free beer and everything, and it's got flows running all over the place. Right. So I'll show you my other one that I've got. So what this is, this is this is the test flow. I'll create the user again. Oh, can I? Right. Oh, this is my test flow that I'll show you. And so I manually triggered it, and that's like this run UI flow. So you do it on demand. What's the point of showing that? May as well just show you the live one. So basically that creates when the user gets assigned a license in Azure, it's assigned to the group, it's assigned a license, that creates a user account in all the CDS environments, but the user just doesn't have access to that CDS environment. And so once that, so the other flow here, that triggers on creation of that user account. And this is how you edit it here. So this is my UI flow, which runs. If I click edit, it comes up with this. It's actually Selenium. It's actually automated test software you run it in. And so what it says at the top, it says open up that website. Click the control on the page. Look on the page for that a control with that ID, and then click it, or sort of type it. Type the variable username into it, and it just follows each of those steps. Now, the problem you have with building them is, see if I just run a test of that, it caches your credentials when you're building it. So that's cached it's actually launched me in Paddy Freefall environment. So that's cached my credentials, so it can't find anything. It can't find that control because I've started the login screen. And so you have to kind of guess. You have to do what we discussed last week. You have to kind of run the flow, let it run through as much as it can, and you can set the. If I go to the other one, this is my real the flow that triggers when the user's created. So that's when the user's created in that trial environment I'm going to be doing my training in, that I want the environment created in. It runs that UI flow in Google Chrome. And it's an attended one, so you can see it pop up on the screen. The unattended one, you can just actually shut a machine. As long as the machine's switched on, you can actually just log out of the machine and let it run at night and do it, because then you don't get all the kind of stuff flashing up on your screen. You put your username and stuff in, but there's a setting in here, which is the step delay. So I've set that to the default, which is 0 now. I keep that as 5,000 on my test. So it's going to, each one of those steps in Selenium that I showed you, which is there, it's going to take 5 seconds before it does each of them. So the way to test it, it's because it does it slow. So remember how fast that clicked up on the screen there? It throws that up on your screen and it just runs through, and you can actually speed that up. So you can actually, in Selenium, just ramp up the speed so it just goes and fires through it in no time. But at 5 seconds, I'll show you, I'll run it again and I'll do it at 5 seconds. If this is the flow that's actually active.
Well, you can see when the last ran. If it last ran the last couple of minutes, then that's the one, isn't it?
Yeah, 9 minutes ago. So that's the one. that should have been off, but it's on and it worked, which is good. So yeah, so that's set at 5 seconds. So if I just do that exact same thing again, I'll create a new contact. I mean, I would probably run, when I'm doing this, we've got a list of event attendance records, so we'll just run it against the list of them, or we'll just run it once and it'll go and get the attendance records. I'll do one for you, John.
So I guess like you could do that on, like, you know, somebody fills in a form and it goes somewhere and triggers or whatever.
Aye, so you could do it on anything at all. It could be on the thing with a form. The reason I wouldn't do it on a creation on a form submission is that it does pop up on your screen like that when it does it, because it's running in attended mode. So if I've got a form and I'm in the middle of my work, and then things start popping up on my screen, and then I can interrupt it, or I'll interrupt something else. It's not good. You'd want to put this on a virtual machine or something if you would do something like that, and run it in unattended mode. And again, this isn't really the use for it, I don't think. This is just me solving a wee problem. And it's a wee hacky solution to save some time. It's really if you've got an old system that you just want to capture data from, you would do it. But any kind of gap that you can't get through, obviously the APIs that are available for the custom connectors, then you could potentially do something like this. So I run that flow again, and I'll see it come up. And it'll hopefully take its time this time. So it's running. It will create the user in AD. That'll probably be done already, actually. There you go. So that's mega quick.
I'm in.
Yep, you're in. You've got your licenses assigned. The bit that's takes the time will be the so there you are. You're not your licenses yet. You have now. The bit that'll take the time is actually appear in CDS, but we should see that screen pop up because it'll trigger my other flow once you appear here. And watch how slow it goes, because we've set the timeout to 5. This is usually quite quick at populating. I've seen it when we first started doing licenses. This when things started, when we first did it, when it started moving over to the common data service. I've seen it wait hours for some users to come through to CDS, but it's usually pretty good now. Famous last words. Still not there. Maybe it was good that the first one ran all right as well. I'll show you how you create one, although it's I'll never get working because it's fiddly, to say the least. It's still not coming through. You're definitely there. Got licenses. Let that wait for a while, and I'll show you how to do it first. Okay. Once you appear, you'll see it pop up on the screen like it did last time. It'll just the flow running, it has to pop up on the screen. But I'll show you how you create them. So if I was going to create a new one, so remember that these ones here just trigger my that one's nothing to do with UI flows. That's just standard flow with some Azure AD connectors and actions and stuff being used. The one so your flow kind of leads into your UI flow, and you can't really edit the steps in your UI flow. There's only really one step.
Okay.
That's your recording. So if I click new UI flow, you can choose desktop app or web app.
Okay.
So desktop app is another wee bit of software that just runs in, but with your desktop app, you can actually record and open up completely different applications. So like if you did have an old bit of software, it doesn't have to run on a website. It can run on anything else.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
you know, you could play Minecraft with it probably.
Somebody will make that.
Aye, it'll get you hits in the YouTube, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
The web app's the one that I used for that. You get a wee Selenium plugin and a UI flow plugin in your browser. You need to install them, and you also, it's worth noting as well, you need to install a gateway, an on-premise gateway. So I've got an on-premise gateway configured on my machine that connects to that.
Can I say something controversial?
Always. This is the forum for it.
It's on premises.
No, I keep saying that.
Premise. Annoys me, man.
You've brought me up on this before, and I know it.
A premise is a suggestion. You wouldn't say, I'm in this premise.
Here we go.
I'm
going to cut you off there. I'm going to cut you off there. So a user's been created, but watch how it takes 5 seconds to do everything. So it'll run a lot slower now. So you're waiting for 5 seconds. The good thing about doing that is to set, so when you run that as a test and you're waiting your 5 seconds and it stops and can't find the next step, then you hit F12 and find out the element ID.
Right, okay.
And then you can manually add it into the recording sessions. But like I said, once you're live, you can ramp the speed of the steps right up.
Aye, because I guess like once it's working, you don't even need to do the kind of attended, but
no, you can put it unattended. I think you get so many unattended in your part of your license.
Right.
But it just does all this nonsense for you. That'll create you up an environment. Like I say, there's got to be a better way of doing that, but let's see. It's good fun
for the millions watching around the world. If you've got a better way, tell Paddy.
Aye, get a fancy magic word from Microsoft and you'll get it. Oh yeah, that's it run. And so that's you got a database in the separate trial environment for your training next week, which I'm hoping you come to.
Absolutely. What is it next week?
Forms and form components. Yeah.
What is there a Power virtual group tomorrow? Is that every week? No, is that every month?
No, every month. Aye, every month. So it'll be every month.
But is your night class through that then?
Aye, it'll be through that. Aye. It's next Monday, but we'll do it every 3 weeks because again, it's just too much at the moment. Until I get the ball rolling anyway, I might ramp up a bit. But so if I go back to my Power Apps environment in F5, you'll see I've got maybe not. I'm on the right one. Sorry, that's the wrong one. It was, I can't find it. You should have a John Condron environment there, unless it hasn't finished setting up yet, I don't think. This demo's going well, isn't it?
Good, mate.
There you are, John Condron. It's just not bad. It's been fission now. Just not fast enough.
Just a wee refresh and you're away.
Like I said, I did it. I've only done it a couple of times, and it was at 1:30 this morning. It's still not appearing there yet, but you're there. There's your name there. But so to create them, you hit next. It always starts off from a website. So I mean, let's just do one for Bing.
Do you never use Shift to capitalize things?
That's really annoying, isn't it? more annoying for me than it is for you. Yep. I don't ever use shift to capitalize things.
Blows my mind.
It's just one of the things I learned that way, and then I just haven't changed. And I've tried to change multiple times, but I've been working with computers since the dark ages. My first one was some weird BBC computers and I'd done any stuff with. So there's no point changing. I can't change. So, but yeah. So this is your recorder. So when you hit record, it'll open Bing. Let's search for John Condron music. Oh, look at that.
It's maybe not me.
It might be the other John Condron.
Oh no, who's this guy with an E in his name?
But yeah.
Hang on, scroll down a minute. Oh, that's the other one.
Right. And so that's it. But you can enter your own ones in there. The problem I had with the Microsoft sign-in is that it's so different when the user credentials are cached. It was hard to test, and so but if I add one, I can add a click. And I think you can actually export this into Visual Studio. I think you can definitely do Selenium. Whether you can do it with the Test UI version of Selenium, but you can export it into Visual Studio and add conditions and all that stuff as well. So you can make them quite complex.
Yeah.
But if I were to save that, and you get an error.
Because you got a blank line. No.
Maybe. As you see, like anything, it's in its infancy. It can be quite temperamental.
I was speaking to the other John Condron the other night, actually.
Oh, yeah, as he did.
He's all right. It's good.
So that's our UI flow. So what we'll do, we'll just launch that now as well. Or we can test it. Essentially, if you run a float on any record, that's what it would do. But I think that's quite the possibilities there.
I think you should put that particular one in every system you ever create.
Just popping up every time.
Every time you do it, and just
a huge delay. Put a huge delay in it. But it's something that I'm going to write. I'll do a proper demo, like an actual video and demo it properly. And I'll be using it to set up my training environments. So I'll try and do how to when I've got time as well, because it was challenging at times just try to get it, because it was a caching thing, and it kept popping open browsers that didn't have cache, that had cached credentials, and taking me straight into Power Apps. And but obviously it was my first time using it, so I know now, but it would save somebody loads of time if I just documented them.
Oh, it's good, man.
That's it for me.
I think like that's the first time I've seen UI flows properly anyway. So that was good.
I've never seen a demo when locking a machine. Like you lock your machine by UI flow, which was against. There's another one with something to do with locations, but I haven't seen that fully yet.
Why would you want, like, what would be the trigger for that?
I was just a guy. It's a proof of concept. It's just trying out. It's can I lock my machine with a UI flow, and it turns out you can.
Okay.
After it's finished, I suppose if you've got a machine running a load of UI flows and creating trainees everywhere, you maybe might just, because I'm not going to be sat with that. I'm going to go to my bed and let that run and create all my training environments. That'll be the test really when I run it. When I run it on 25 users or more, and see if it actually just runs through and creates them all. Because I don't see why not. And I'll also try. I also want the next part that I'm not sure of. I want to add that environment into DevOps so that I can so that I don't need. Because that's another thing I need to do. Once that environment's created, I need to add it, the environment, and it could be my user credentials into DevOps as a service connection. Once it's in there, I could just distribute the unmanaged solution or the solution out so that everybody's got the same environment with the same starting block. Because obviously we started from a model-driven app at the training session. So I had to create that app and then distribute it. I just used DevOps to do that. But I'd still to create a service connection for each one. But I think you can do that through an HTTP request through the REST API.
I've no idea.
I need to.
I imagine so, but
play with that. Or I could just UI flow it. The only thing I think I don't like about the UI flows is that it could encourage laziness. Like, I'm not a dev. I can't use a REST API. I'll just do a UI flow, and that's crap, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's like I think it'd be more beneficial to learn how to use REST APIs, but
aye.
That's just me.
Yeah, that's what I probably do.
That was good, man. That was really good.
Yeah, it didn't go according to plan, but it worked. So.
Aye. you get the idea.
We'll put that as a tagline when I tweet later on. If you want to see me balls up, UI flow demo, then skip to 60 minutes or whatever it is. Anyway,
no, that's good. So we'll do this again sometime.
Absolutely, we'll do it a couple of weeks. I think we should get somebody on as well.
It was good with Claire. It was Claire last week.
Yeah, well, Claire tuned in tonight even.
Yeah.
So
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
She's desperate to do a solutions one. She said.
Is she? I want to know about solutions.
That's what she said on the last call. Yeah, she's got a really good analogy. So if she's still listening, we may be waiting for her to write some comments and protests.
Last time she was on, I didn't have to do it, and I just got drunk. So, you know.
Nah, my turn next time. No, we'll see. We'll get somebody else on.
All right, that'd be good.
If Claire wants to come on, she's more than welcome.
Perfect. Get everybody on.
Zoom party.
Zoom party.
You heard that Party in the Elevator song?
No.
You'll love it. Google that, Party in the Elevator. That's all Brogan listens to now.
Right. I'm probably not going to listen to that.
It's another level. It's another level. It's better than Baby Shark, I have to put it that way. But yeah. All right, man. I'll catch up with you later.
You take it easy now.
Have a good evening. Have a good evening, everybody that listens.
Cool.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye, everyone.